Hello everyone, this is Mr. Tejada, and today I'm actually going to show you how to create some scales using color pencils. You can also use crayons if you like. For those students that don't have paint and are in a paint class, and we're doing things remotely now, and those materials you just can't get right now, okay? And you do have some color pencils. So the tint scale, if we were doing paint, means that you're gonna take the color and add white to it. I know that color pencils come with the white in it. I don't really like to use the white of the color pencil here. I actually want to use the color of the paper to act as the white. So what does that mean? So in order for me to tint this, I'm going to focus on pressure. Now, I'm using blue here, and the first square should be your blue on a tint scale. It could be any color, but if you're using blue, it'll be blue. If you're using red, you use red. But use that first color to fill in that first box as smooth as possible. You want to go in different directions to get a nice smooth feel and look to your square. Okay, after you place that first color, what we want to do is go lighter by adding less pressure. So this one would be less pressure to create less strength in the blue. If we were painting and I showed you I created a painting version of this, you'll see that mixing is the key, mixing the color plus the white. Here it's about pressure because we're using the white of the paper to be our light agent, you know. So my next box should be lighter. Now I have a technique that helps me create lighter marks, right? So what I like to do is that if I want stronger marks, I make sure that my pencil is held here, lighter here. So I'm about here right now. And I try to let the pencil do some of the work. I'm just going back and forth, okay? I can go a little bit darker. Now the reason I changed my paper route is because I want different directions to affect the color here. And once I think I got a good tone, I just move on. You can always come back and adjust tones. Now this skill is something we cover in color theory. We can use color pencils, we can use paint. Paint is probably the material that's used the most because mixing is important to painting. This is just a little bit of a different approach, but it works well for art teachers that are doing remote learning and they want a way to do color theory without having their students spend a lot of money on art material that would usually be covered at the school level. Okay, so you see where I'm at now. My hand is holding the pencil at the very end because I don't want too much contact or pressure. And you can keep this white or very light, depending how you want your scale to end. So I'm just kind of just touching it up here. And that will be your tint scale using color pencil. Now, we're going to complete a shade scale, and here I would use black. You can use black. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to fill up that first one with blue. Similar to the first square in the tint scale. I like to go in different directions, get it as flat as possible. And this is good for all levels: grammar school, middle school, high school. If you go to art school, there's going to be color theory. You're going to be doing scales. You're going to be practicing how to mix and look at different colors so you can see the different tones in there. So once I get that first blue in there, I'm going to go to the opposite end. And maybe I want to just add my black in here. And as you can see, the black is really not a black that you would get from a paint set, a tube. This is actually like a dark gray. But just remind your students, remind yourself that we're just trying to practice the concept here. If you get better material, you can get better results. Okay, so my goal is here to make a nice scale that goes from a blue to a dark blue or a black. I may go dark blue, I may add blue into that just because the black is not as strong as I would want it. All right, so I'm going to take my blue, I'm going to fill this in, and then I'm going to fill it in with a little touch of the dark gray or the black that's here. Let's see what this says. It doesn't say anything. So I'm just gonna play around here. The tone, see if I can just change it up a little bit. And if I change it slightly, I'll keep it and then move on to the next one. It's already changing the tone. So I'll move on to my next one. And as I progress, more of the black will show up. Add some more black in this square to make it darker than this one. Okay, so we're slowly getting more intense, right? I feel like with this tool, I'm gonna have to use a lot of muscle. So depending on the tool you have, depending on the quality of your color pencils, will dictate how much pressure you're gonna put. So let's add some more. Okay, I added more pressure and it's working out. So the idea here is that we want to make the color darker, and you don't have to only use black to make your colors darker, but in this case we're using black because it's a shade scale and it's defined by a color plus black. Okay, let's continue. Let's see if I can make this one darker. Darker than that one. It's the goal. Change it up a little bit. And I can already feel that I'm getting to my limit. The tool is not really allowing me to make this darker. So I'm just gonna go and pass this diagonally. If I have another black here, okay, I have this black. This one actually says black on it. So let's see if this one works a little bit better. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can already see that changing the tool, the quality of the tool just changed my ability to make this darker. So I just changed the black in here, and it already just kind of made it a lot darker. So I'm actually gonna make that one darker. There you go. So we're gonna take our blue, fill this in one more time. Let's get this black in here. Now we're talking. See that? What a difference. So the quality of the tool is definitely important. I'm going to fill this one in with just black. And I want to go in various directions also. Just because it's just one color doesn't mean you don't do the same. Okay, so this is a tint scale. Okay, now I'm going to move over, actually below, to the gray scale. And I actually want to start in the middle. So I want to try to get a gray happening here. Now the gray scale in paint, you would make your gray and then you would go to either side and either get darker or lighter. So in this case, I'm going to make what I consider gray for this color. As I move to my right, I'm going to get darker. If we were using paint, we would add black to the gray mixed. But we're just going to add pressure. We're going to add pressure to this. Okay? There you go. Add some more pressure. And it's going to be super fun for any grade level. Now I'm just going to add more. Add more. And what I mean by more pressure. I'm gonna add more pressure so that this becomes darker. Okay, now this is going to be my darkest area here, so it's the most pressure. Just make sure it's evenly spread, the actual intensity of the tone. Then we're going to just get lighter. Now it's less pressure. Less pressure. Now, I got to sharpen my pencil. I like to carve my pencil out. So now I'm definitely got to get lighter because I know the touch of this will create the mark. So I'm getting lighter by holding the pencil so that the point is far away from my hand. And this last one, you can leave it white or add a little light gray. Well, guys, this is it. I started with the tint scale, shade scale, gray scale. My next video will cover complementary, warm, cool, and analogous scales. So you can start it off with this one and wait for part 2 of creating color scales with a dry, medium, like color pencils. Guys, I see you around.